And hi, everybody. My name is Sparks Johnson. This is another Wednesday night install of Self-Care Matters. Dr. Gary's out cavorting around the country somewhere in Southern California doing what Gary does in Southern California. And we wish him to have a wonderful time and some time off because I know he sure deserves it. My name is Sparks Johnson. And we have some panelists who have been having some difficulties, and we have some panelists that have not shown up yet. So we're going to have a lot of time. So everybody on the call, if towards the end, if you would like to tell your story about how self-care has helped you and yours, type it in. I'll open that up at the end. Just type in your request, and I should be able to promote you to full-fledged panelists so we can hear what you got. So with that, I'm going to start. I'm Sparks Johnson. Like I said, I've been a self-care advocate for about three plus years. I do not look as good as Lily. I try. I'm going to take a little bit different bent on this self-care thing because the biggest problem I've had since joining Nikken was the fact that it's been real hard to come up with a consistent message that I found could really work with virtually anybody I met. I do not believe that there's well, let me put it this way. I believe that every person I meet either has an issue that they could use some help with, or knows that they have, or knows somebody who might have an issue that we could help. And that's my wife calling me, telling me that she'll be back soon, but I'm not going to get it. So the telephone's just going to ring, guys. Yeah. What can I say? With that said, what I have found the self-care thing and what Gary's done with the self-care and Self-Care Matters is the fact that it's a pretty easy message. Just ask some very simple questions. And I find it very comfortable to talk with everybody and ask everybody questions. And normally I'm getting about a 95% nod of agreement. Do you agree that, hey, our environment's getting more and more toxic? Do you like your water, your tap water? Do you agree that we're seeing sickness getting lower and lower in ages? Do you agree to all of that? And so, okay. Sorry, everybody. So do you agree with these things? And virtually about 99, 95, 90%, 95%, they say, yes, we do agree with that. And so then it comes to a point where, well, how are you doing with it? And so then we can start talking that way. So one thing that I really get, one bent I take that might be able to help some of you out there in video land is the fact that, how do you think healthcare is doing? I mean, we got cut it with surgery, put some prescriptions on it to manage it, or eat better and exercise. Now, eat better and exercise is great, but it's not totally working. So what is missing? So the toxicity is what's missing. Okay, a lot of things are being triggered by toxicity, and then boom. And so my whole thing is, hey, I'm here to help you get toxicity out of your life. When that happens, there's a really good chance that you're going to feel better, and when you feel better, you know what, you're going to want to feel even better. So we can get on to some of the more serious stuff. But I found that a lot of people respond to that. I'm a member of BNI, which is an internet, not an internet, a face-to-face referral situation. Very good. So some of you may want to consider that. And so through that, I'm getting more orders just from my BNI chapter and all that means. And I've noticed that every week I've got to stuff my book with more cards because there are more and more people taking cards. So I'm very optimistic. I am super optimistic. My website now has basically, hi, we love you. Let's get rid of some toxicity. So that's what it's meant for me. It's really kind of rejuvenated. I'm really looking forward to what Nikken's going to say in San Antonio in October. And I think that's going to rock our socks, blow the rollers off the skateboard, whatever we do. And let's see, Rex is not back yet. So Lily, guess what? You're up next, kiddo, because everybody else is out running around the neighborhood. So everybody, you can probably see on your screen, I have Lily, and I'm not going to blow this. Icho.
No.
No. doggone it.
Ecochea.
Ecochea.
Ándale.
There you go. So Lily Ecochea.
Mhm.
Lily, you're up next, and I know that you're working just fine. So let's get you going, and let's see what you have to say about self-care has helped you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you just fine.
Okay. I've written it down, Sparks, so I could keep until the allotted time. Okay.
Well, we have time.
Oh, I didn't know that though.
But go ahead.
Hello, everyone.
Go ahead.
I'm Co-Chair. Thank you, Sparks, for saying my name so beautifully, and Gary and Sparks for inviting me back. I've been a self-care advocate for over 40 years because that's when a very severe, serious, chronic health issue faced me. And I finally found the self-care solutions I needed. Before this, as I said, I was faced with numerous severe health challenges, including very low energy levels, weakness, numbness, very little balance in my body, low bone density, high levels of bad cholesterol, low quality or no sleep, digestive problems, dehydration, tiredness, paralysis. I've been paralyzed over 60 times,
Wow.
lasting from 1 week to 2 months. Knee hyperextension problems, lack of proprioception, which means you don't know where your body is in space, and much more. Now, I know these symptoms sound very surreal, but you might know someone that has some of this. We're not doctors. Well, I am a doctor, but in literature. I doctored in Hispanic and French literature, but we're not medical doctors. I'm not saying the name of the condition, but you might know someone that has some of these surreal symptoms, and you can see what has happened with me. As we say in Yiddish, it was all Meshuggah before I met Niken.
In what language was that?
Yiddish.
Yiddish,
Means
okay.
craziness,
Crazy, yes. Okay.
surreal.
All right. Just thought I'd check.
And those of us that are faced with this condition, we would call it Meshuggah. Anyway, I was able, after I found the self-care solutions, I was able to stop taking drugs for sleep, stop taking drugs for bad cholesterol, and stop taking drugs for low bone density. I feel better now than in my 30s. I could talk for hours about the benefits, but I've chosen only a few. I realize that it's the synergy of all the products that have transformed my life. That's why I have everything, because I need everything. The Pymac water helps me keep hydrated, gives me energy. The sleep system gives me uninterrupted and peaceful sleep. The Bone Health Pack makes me feel alive again and has helped my mobility. The Jade enzymes, the Mega Daily Vitamins, and Siaga have improved my digestive system. They energize me every morning, and I know that my system is being cleansed. Because of the Registerol, my cholesterol levels are amazing. My doctor couldn't believe it. So that's why I was able to stop those horrible bad cholesterol drugs. The duct tape has helped me because it has helped my hyperextension of the knees and also helped my proprioception. If you look on YouTube and look in sports for Synetic tape, you'll see that the athletes use it and for hyperextension and proprioception after they've been injured. So that has helped me. Because of the M-Strides, my feet feel the earth again, which they could not before. I was able to get rid of my scooter, which was an amazing thing. When Gary met me, I was in a scooter. I wasn't walking. Living in a total wellness home full of clean air, using live magnetized water to drink, cook, and shower, taking natural healthy nutrients, sleeping in a magnetic cocoon without having to take a drug. This is true happiness. Having felt sick, weak, fatigued, depressed, stressed, constantly pushing myself, I can appreciate how I feel now. De-stressed, happy, and balanced. My personality was always to smile on the outside, even though I was crying awfully on the inside. Now I'm smiling on the outside and the inside. I thank Lincoln every day for having transformed my life and allowing me to impact the lives of others.
I'm sold. Where do I sign up?
I'll give you my website.
Yeah. Very good. Does Pam, do you have a question for her? Just since, let's test you, Pam. Pam, can you hear me?
Oh,
You need to unmute your mic. Mary says you're awesome, Lily. Can you talk,
thank
Pam?
you. Pam,
Okay.
what can I tell you?
While Pam seems to have those problems, I'm going to mention something because you were mentioning some products. One is a few of the products that have really, really helped me in kind of a global thing. I was showing, I self-diagnosed myself with onset Alzheimer's, and I started using KVB, the Mental Clarity, and 10-4. And I believe that onset of Alzheimer's or dementia or whatever was going on, I believe that's been pretty well shut down for now. I feel pretty good. Pretty sharp. I've been doing some things I haven't done in a long time. And so I would, if anybody has, you're starting to forget, you hear people, old age, this kind of stuff. Well, there aren't many people older than me, I'll tell you that. And I think it helps. Oh, Rex and Susie, how are you? Okay, Pam, I'm going to let you work on your Lily
You
thing.
still can't hear me?
We can hear you, Pam. Okay,
Oh.
I'm going to go back to the schedule, and I'm going to call Rex and Susie. Rex and Susie.
Hey, sports.
Lily, go ahead and mute your mic, please. So you guys, Susie, nice to see you again.
Hi, Sparks. Good to see you.
And you guys, how has self-care made a difference in your lives?
It hasn't.
It hasn't. Good night. Goodbye.
Oh, I wasn't supposed to say that, was I?
No, that's not the topic for tonight, Rex.
Good night. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Susie hasn't been able. She's a very busy lady and a very busy grandma, so she hasn't been able to make very many of our new self-care videos and meetings. So, I wanted to introduce her to everybody and really let her share a little bit about her story, and then I'll kind of recap after that. I know we don't have a lot of time. Gary said 2 to 3 minutes, so we'll try and keep it under that.
On the other hand, Gary knows I'm not great at keeping my story short, so he won't be surprised. Anyway, my name is Susie Olson. I'm partnered with Rex here, my wonderful man of many years. And I was a very typical American, I would say. I had some health issues years ago, and I went to the doctor, and they gave me prescriptions, which I took. And then the years went on, and more issues would arise, which we now know, or at least to a certain extent, there's a correlation between the medications I was taking and the introduction to more and more health issues in my life. But as they would arise, the doctor would give me more medications. I would take them. I was doing what my doctor said. I was, like I said, very typical of that.
Oh.
Sparks is saying something.
Can't hear you, Sparks. Oh, Dave Johnson. Sparks, you're muted.
Hey, yes. How many medications were you on, Susie? I'm sorry.
That's okay, no problem. I know we once kept a number. I don't know. I can tell you my cupboard is this wide. Can you see my hands? And it spread all across the whole thing. So I had a lot of them. And
so more than 10.
More than 10, yes.
Oh, yeah.
More than 15?
I don't know about more than 15.
All right.
I'd have to go back and look at the list
Okay,
again.
that's not a deal.
It used to be.
A bunch
But
of them.
anyway, there were a lot of them. And I didn't believe in alternative things. Rex had tried a lot of different products made by a lot of different companies. And I wasn't a great believer in alternative choices. we'll put it mildly.
Mhm.
So anyway, the long and the short of it is that with the introduction of self-care into our lives in the form of Nikken, I personally, but I and Rex and lots of family members have experienced miraculous changes in our health, our mental, our emotional, and our physical health. And I realize these are nutritional, since you don't think of it covering all of those areas, but there is a strong correlation between feeling physically better and then feeling emotionally better, and, you know, all of the rest of it. So anyway, it has made a miraculous change in my life.
Mhm. Mhm.
Sparks, I can't hear you again.
Sparks, you're muted.
Yeah, I know. I do that. You know, here I am bragging about how my mental clarity is leading me up, and I forget how to turn my mic back on. Susie, so you know what? You called your husband wonderful. I agree, because he bought me lunch today. You know that?
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, but the good news is you buy tomorrow.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it? Rex, is there anything you want to add to that?
Yeah,
Wonderful story?
I would. You know, Susie kind of downplays the self-care. I mean, what transpired, but it was nothing short of a miracle. And really, you know, we started out self-care. A big part of self-care is the product itself. I mean, that's it. What is it that you're going to try to do that's going to allow the body to do the very best that it possibly can? And for decades, she was on an opposite track, where they were trying to adjust and manipulate and to tell her body what to do through the pharmaceuticals. And, you know, doctors, I have nothing against doctors, because, you know, they really, they're there to help us, and I think they have great, wonderful hearts. But not many of them are open, or not necessarily open, but they haven't really been exposed in the proper way to our philosophy of self-care. And it's not that I'm against pharmaceuticals, but I think that you should be taking a minimum of pharmaceuticals and letting your body do the rest and adjust. And that's exactly what happened with Susie. And the air, the water, the shower head filters, all of the things one by one added it a little at a time, and that's really what I would strongly recommend in terms of sharing this with people. Is you don't have to go and spend thousands and thousands of dollars to start this process, but start the process. For gosh sake, start the process.
So if I get you correctly, that's another fine advantage of self-care, is the fact that it's not so much treatment basis. It's a matter of get your body all the tools that it needs, so it can start making you healthier. So then you can make more choices that you want to make to become even healthier like that.
Exactly. And really, Sparks, we've made a lot of choices over the last 3 years that have nothing to do with Nikken and that company, but it has made us healthier, and we feel healthier, and we look healthier, and our family members and our friends and everybody around us recognizes that. And then what happens? Then they want to become involved.
Yeah.
The only other thing I'd like to say, and I know I will run over my allotment of time.
Yes, you have, but that's no surprise.
Yeah. On either one of us. But the other thing that I would like to say is, yesterday I had a very wonderful experience, and it's how self-care tends to play out. And that is that in our retail store, I have a customer, a lady that comes in, and her family have been customers of ours for years and years and years. And I introduced these products, or I introduced the concept of self-care to them over a year ago, about 18 months ago. And her husband and I had an ABC. We talked about it. And for whatever reason, they decided not to really do anything. But we do chat about it when she comes in. So I continue to drop those little seeds of what's going on. And yesterday she says, "Oh, I forgot to tell you." She said, we were back in, it was either Kentucky or Tennessee, someplace, visiting relatives. And somehow or another, the conversation shifted to healthcare, and how you need to take responsibility for the things that you're doing in your life. And the subject of Nikken came up. And all of the relatives back there love this company, and they love these products, and they think that this is the greatest thing since iced tea. And I just smiled, and I said, you know what? I says that they really are. So that conversation has now been reopened, and these people, I know at my heart, and I realize they are going to become self-care advocates just like we are.
That's great. If you don't mind, you two mute yourselves if you don't mind, and I'm going to move on to the ever lovely, ever present Pam. How are you doing tonight, everybody? This is Pam Foreman. She has a very powerful story that she wants to tell us. So, Pam, I hope that you have sound right now.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, and we can see you.
Oh, good. Yeah, I had to turn the whole computer off. My name is Pam Foreman Rodriguez, and I've been I am actually medically retired, and I also am a volunteer for the senior service in this community. And I started doing that because I had no other alternative. I've been a self-care advocate now for 3 years and 3 months. I want to get technical. And I can't hear you, Sparks, if you have a question. But before that, I've been taking 21 medications. And basically the doctors had said there was nothing more they were going to do for me except make me comfortable. I think at the age of 50, that was back then, I don't think I needed to be medically retired, and that's exactly what happened. So I started looking for alternatives with so many, like Lily was saying, I couldn't move and walk, and it hurt to sit and move, and, you know, from head to toe. So I needed help, and I started looking into different alternatives besides Western medicine. And I first was introduced to the magnetic and the power minis, the power bands, the insoles, and like Rex was saying earlier, you don't have to do everything at once. I wanted to do everything at once because I wanted to just get that experience that I got just from the magnetics. And I went right from the magnetics into the sleep system because I hadn't slept all night in 6 years. And I was tired of waking up every hour, every 2 hours. So when I started doing the sleep system, the magnetics, I moved into the water, the nutritions. And after a good 2 years, because apparently my body is pretty broken, that I was able to drop 10 medications. And that was exciting for me to help rebuild my body back up. And even my doctors were amazed. I used the little power minis. I know I've suggested this to a lot of other people, and it's really worked. I have glaucoma. I know we're not supposed to say what, but anyway, I have an eye thing, and I put the mini mags on there, and the pressure came down. And my doctor was amazed that that's the first time in years that I could actually control that eye. And so that, of course, made me excited. And this has just changed mine and my husband's, and I'm sorry Juan's not here, but it's changed our life. You know, when we thought we were going down a path of, you know, the doctors basically, I want to be in a wheelchair, and I was almost at that point. And so these products have really changed my life and allowed me to live the life I want to live and be doing the things and with just beautiful people that I've met. And it's so exciting to see the other things. And as a caregiver for my 90-year-old uncle, I was able to give him a better quality of life because I've introduced him with a lot of the products also. And now I'm stumbling for words. I'm so excited. I'm starting to get emotional, and you can't see it with my glasses on. That's why I kept them on purposely. But
well, I think you're looking fine. I think that's a heck of a story.
Yeah, well, it's been very very rough, challenging, and I'm just excited that all these natural things have been able to correct. And like Rex said, I love my doctors. They really do have a hard job, and
Mhm.
they had a hard time. And when they see test results and they see, things, they have to do what they have to do. But I don't have to accept I'm not going to do anything more for you. And all I'm going to do is give you more medications. And I'm at the point where I'm going to work the other way. So I've been so excited to drop 10. I couldn't believe it was 10, and I still look forward to dropping more,
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
There's one thing I would like to note.
Okay.
I noticed that you probably have your window open, number one. Number two is there's a nice Nikon box, maybe 2 Nikon boxes in the background behind you.
Oh, yeah, my deliveries today?
Yeah. There you go.
Yes, one is actually, one is for my uncle, and the other one is actually for my son that's starting to finally, he's Mr. Nothing can fix you, that doesn't work kind of thing. And yes, so he's now introducing that because I have my, Susie, I have my new granddaughter who's 2 weeks old now.
Wow.
So, he's starting to realize that when grandma's holding the little one, that the magnetics are making her very calm and happy. And so, yeah.
How special is that? I'm going to open this up to the audience. I went ahead and I chatted that we have time for one more little mini story. If some of you would like to step forward, we have a few minutes to do that. Panelists, I'm going to collect your thoughts. I'm going to come back to you in a few minutes. If nobody volunteers, I'm not seeing anybody just rushing up to get the mic on the chat area. So, and I don't see any hands raised. Okay, so everybody turn on your mics, please. Any last thoughts before we wrap this up and put a fork in it? Yes, Lily.
I'm sure most of us on the panel and people that are listening, it also happens. Sometimes I'm sitting, obviously in my Kinko seat, and I think, I feel so good.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
After all
Awesome.
years
Yeah.
of feeling,
Oh,
as I said, Meshuggah, and everyone's saying it must be in your head. This couldn't be,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
And now
It must be in your head.
it's such a
Gotta be.
wonderful feeling.
Let's go
And
run
that's
a while.
what we want to transmit to everyone, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. It's so
Feeling so
life-changing.
awful, you can feel fabulous.
Yeah. Good.
Hey.
Energetic.
I sure wish
Full
we had
of
an excited
life.
team around here, Rex. You know what I mean? All right, Rex, Susie, anything?
Susie, you got any comments?
Well, I just can't be thankful enough. The life-changing experience of experiencing the self-care is beyond what I can use words without lots of tears to talk about. But it is life-changing in such positive ways. And because others see those positive changes in your life, they want those positive changes. So you get to watch other lives change
Yes.
for the better through this. And what more could you ask for? It's awesome.
You know,
I've been very blessed to watch Susie change. That
Yes,
has just
that is.
my God,
you know,
touched my heart very
there
much.
was something happened to me. I was going through kind of a grand funk around here. My attitude was a little slippy, little. You know, I get like that every once in a while.
Ah,
And you know what got me out of it? I just started sharing Nikon again. Everybody started lighting up, and this isn't so bad after all. All right, everybody.
I thought it's because I bought you lunch.
Yeah, that could have been it. Okay, everybody, thank you very much tonight.
Thank you.
thank you, Sparks.
I'm going to turn off the recording. About now, thank you for everybody's participation. We hope Dr. Gary comes back sprightly and safely, and I'm stopping the recording.